Yeah.
Did you make some adjustments when you saw that happen? Because we know Sarah McGinley knocking down some threes early, Hunter did, which was a little bit of a surprise to us.
Yeah, we put Hunter on the perimeter when we saw that matchup, and just, and she hit 2 quick ones, and then we didn't score again, I felt like, till the fourth quarter. That's what it feels like to a coach.
Yeah.
I know that didn't happen, but, yeah, I mean, Hunter's she's such a huge threat out there. I don't know if these stats are right, but, she's coming off a shot in her knee. She has knee pain, pretty badly, and she plays hurt a lot, so she's incredible. I tried to rest her a little bit tonight, which means she was under 30 minutes, just barely, but I hate not having her on the court. She always has our back. She had 5 blocks. Is that right? Yeah.
That's what we saw as well, yeah.
Yeah. So, she's always there for us. She always has our backs at the rim, and I got to have her in for those types of things. And, she was great.
We've talked about Sarah McGinley a lot the last month or so. This got down to a 1-point game at 37-36. They had a 7-0 run. Western did. McGinley makes 2 threes to close out the third quarter, gets a couple free throws. It seemed like that was a point where you thought, okay, here comes the Western run. McGinley got you 8 points, kind of helped you weather that. Then you go on to outscore them 26-10. But again, those 8 points could not have been bigger as far as I could tell in this game at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's somebody we can go to. She's just such a tough matchup. Her size and her ability. Whoever's guarding her, she'll take him outside or go inside. So. And she can just take her time off the bounce. And then, we went to her at the end. She hands it off to Raya, and Raya gets an and one at the rim. That was huge. And so, just a smart player and just a great kid. And, she had 4 assists, too, and 6 rebounds. And she just she's a hooper. I mean, she can really flat out score certain nights.
We'll talk to Kaylee Carlson in a moment, but I thought your guards came up big late in the game. Carlson, Martine you mentioned. Also, Greenwood had a couple nice plays. They came through for you as well to close it out.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, Ashley, every game, I feel like every weekend, I feel, more solid with her and on the same page and learning what she can help us with. And she's a tough kid.
Yeah.
She finishes at the rim. She got those leak outs in transition off steals, and that 3 she hit was huge. It was a huge time. Like, if she'd missed that and they'd gone the other way, it was a big play. And so I probably held my breath quite a bit for that one in the air. But, it was great. I'm glad she feels confident.
Well, you should be happy with this. To play just 6 of your 15 games at home, as you mentioned. Hey, back in the Frontier Conference States to be second would have been a letdown. But in this league this year, with everything you've been up against, to be second place, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Appreciate it. And happy to be here Tuesday night.
Yes, we'll be here Tuesday for more basketball in the RMAC quarters.
Good.
All right, the Griffins close it out here at home as they improve to 11-4. They take down Western Colorado 71-53. Back with Kaylee Carlson in just a moment. And our postgame show continues now with one of the seniors, Kaylee Carlson from Smithfield, Utah. And Kaylee, second place in the RMAC in the COVID-19 year that posed a lot of problems for your team, but yet you somehow finished second. How's it feel for you right now?
Really good, really good. As this team, we knew that we could come in and we could win and we could do good, and so it's good for us to actually show that in our rankings and how we've been playing recently.
You guys have played just 6 of your 15 games at home. I mean, this has been a huge home court advantage over the years. This year you really couldn't use it as much, but you guys found a way to win games. Just talk about the resiliency of this team and really how this group came together in less than ideal circumstances to finish second in a very, very good RMAC conference this year.
Yes. I think it all goes down to just the fight to win every game. We all come in every day at practice. We want to play hard. We want to win. And everyone on the team has that drive, and that's what ultimately ends up helping us in those crucial times in the games.
Well, Shelley just mentioned to you as you walked up here, just 5 points, but you had the big steal, and you made some big plays late in the game. For you, how enjoyable has this moment been for you tonight?
It's been good. It's been weird that it's senior night, that it's finally ending after 4 years here, but wouldn't want to have ended my senior night any other way with any other group of girls.
Every win counts equally, and you came up big in the win at Regis last week. Huge night for you. How many points did you have? 35, I believe?
No, not that many.
Not that many?
I don't remember.
I'll have to go back and look. Big game for you, and as I said, that was a big road win as you won that one again at Colorado Mines last Friday as you won that one by 5. She always says there's weeks you just don't practice a lot. You got some practicing last week and you made some shots.
I know.
How nice was that?
It was good. It was good to be at practice. I'm in the nursing, so I don't get to come very often. But
well, this is a nice win for you guys. And in fact, it was 16 points for you in that win against Colorado Mines last weekend. Congratulations,
Thank you.
We'll see you back here Tuesday for more basketball.
Thank you so much.
All right, Kaylee Carlson, one of the 3 seniors playing their final regular season home game. Westminster takes care of Western tonight by a score of 71-53 here at Beacon Fieldhouse. And welcome back to Bacon Fieldhouse for men's basketball on this Saturday, final men's game of the regular season for the Westminster Griffins as they come in 8-10 tonight. They'll face the Western Colorado Mountaineers, who come in 8-11, made that 6-11. So a couple teams who will wrap up their campaigns here tonight. So Lance, with that in mind, I think we will see a max effort on both sides and probably a pretty quality 40 minutes of basketball in this one.
I hope so for both of these teams' sake. It's a disappointing year for both of them, that's for sure. Not going to be able to make it to the conference tournament is tough, especially for the Griffins. They've had so many opportunities, and we'll talk about that throughout the game, where they've had the lead late or the entire game late and just haven't been able to get some of those close ones to fall their way. And so for both these teams, they want to end on a positive note.
Western Colorado comes in averaging 6 more three-point attempts than their opponents during the season, so they will get up and down, and some excellent guards for them. The Griffins have been reliant on 2 players in double figures, Joey Andrews and Remy Torbert. Should be a fun matchup coming up in men's play. We'll now step aside for our national anthem. So we are set to go for men's basketball. Congratulations again to the Griffin women who took care of Western Colorado 71-53 in our first game tonight. The Griffins finishing second in the RMAC this year. They will host a quarterfinal matchup, the 2-7 game here on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. at Beckett Fieldhouse. So come back and join us for that. In the RMAC Women's Tournament next week, the top remaining seed after the quarters will host the semis and championships. So if there's a potential slip-up by Colorado Mines in that first round, or actually quarterfinal game, then we could have some basketball here next weekend at Beckett and women's play. So stay with us and come back with us on Tuesday for that. Let's get to the men's game here in this one. Westminster will start these 5 tonight. Matt Kitzman will go at 1 guard, a junior from Draper, Utah, and Juan Diego Catholic High School. Remy Torbert, a 6'2 junior guard from Southfield, Michigan, and Northwest College will start as well at the guard position. Joey Andrews at a swing position. 6'5", 200-pound junior from Bluffdale, Utah, and Riverton High School. Also starting will be Dominic Cervantes on senior night. 6'3", senior from Salt Lake City, Olympus High School. And Braden Johnson will round out the starting 5 for the Griffins. 6'8", 215 junior from Draper, Utah, for head coach Norm Parrish. And the starting 5 for Western Colorado, Grant Wilkinson at 1 guard, 6'1", freshman from Colorado Springs. Wilkinson averaging 6.3 points per game. Avery Rembow will start at a guard as well, a sophomore from Loveland, Colorado. He's ranked 19th in the conference in scoring at 13.9 points a game. Cole Sinek will start at a guard, junior from Colorado Springs. He is 23rd in the conference in scoring at 13 per contest. And it'll be all 5 guards starting in this one for the Mountaineers. Matthew Ragsdale starts as well, sophomore from Monument, Colorado. He is 4th in the league in scoring at 20.5 points per game. He shoots 39% from 3. And Jonathan McLeod rounds out the starting 5. McLeod, a 6'4", sophomore from Carrollton, Texas. McLeod averaging 7.1 points per game on the season, shoots 40% from three. Their head coach is Brad Schaefer. So the Griffins come in 8-10. They lost here last night to Fort Lewis 75-56. Fort Lewis had two quality big men, which is a rarity in this conference. We've seen some great guards over the years, Lance, but they have two big men. That certainly caused some problems for the Griffins last night as they lost that one again 75-56. Western Colorado opened the weekend with the loss at Colorado Mesa. Mesa having a great season, and they won that matchup 93-77.
Yeah, this is a pride game, if you ask me. This is about pride and going out on top. Both of these teams, are going to play pretty loose, I think, and free. They know they don't have a playoff chance. So why not go out with a bang and go all out and do what you can to try and get your team a W to end this season.
In fact, Colorado Mesa 17-1 in the season. They have been highly ranked all year, and they're having a monster season. Again, Mesa took care of Western last night, 93-77. So here we go. Griffins in white. They go to work right away, and Braden Johnson with the first bucket tonight for the Griffins.
Yeah, way to go. They switched that first initial screen from Braden, and the guard stayed on him, and he was able to take advantage.
Bobbled out of bounds as they came near side to Jonathan McLeod, and that will turn it over for the Mountaineers. Western Colorado comes in averaging 78 points a game. They give up 83. They love to shoot the three. Opponents shoot a better percentage than them, 40-38%, but they get up an average of 6 more three-point attempts than their opponents on the season. Johnson, down low, boy, nice find. Finds Cervantes on the baseline, and Dominic scores it 4-0 Westminster.
Yeah, nice for Dominic. The senior got honored before the game. To get that bucket to go, it's got to feel good.
So a good start here for the Griffins as they lead this one 4-0. Up top, Sinek now gives it to Rembau. Somehow kept it alive against the aggressive Andrews. Long jumper left side, won't go for Sinek. Here come the Griffins, all running on top 4-0. Kitzman gets it back from Johnson. Leaves a bounce pass for Johnson wide left. Outside, Cervantes feels it. Back iron miss, won't go, but the rebound to Johnson.
And the Griffins, who don't start a necessarily big lineup either, as Remy Torber gets the three to go, need to take advantage of their size, which they don't have very often, but they do tonight. 5 guards starting for Western.
Strong charge in there by Matthew Ragsdale. 4th best scorer in the conference at 20.5 points a game. Shoots 48% from the floor, 39% from three. In fact, he averages a hefty amount of three-pointers made per game. 45 made threes in 17 games this year. Free throw won't go for Ragsdale. Quick substitutions. Elijah Davison comes in, a freshman guard from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, as McLeod takes a seat. And the free throw down to give the Mountaineers their first point tonight.
It looks like Western is starting out this game switching every screen. So if they continue to do that, and you're going to have a big, having a guard defending you as Johnson drives in, gets the floater, just rims out there, but deflected off Western. So continue to see if Westminster will take advantage and get the big inside with the matchup that they want.
Western Colorado won the first matchup of these two teams this season back on January 29th, 78-74.
Another game that we talked about, Mike, where Westminster had the lead for predominantly most of the game as Andrews gets inside and turns around and gets the bucket. And let that lead slip away, had some turnovers. Western actually hit some really big shots. I remember that game watching online. So that's been the story of the Griffins season, unfortunately.
Three ball is up, won't go from Torbert. Yeah, Norm Parrish told me in pregame they basically ran out of gas at altitude.
Yep.
Was a lot of it. Good start here tonight. Griffins lead by 8. Three ball won't go for Ragsdale. Here comes Kitzman. Lost the handle, but ends up to Cervantes. Now back outside to Andrews. 3 minutes in, Griffins on top by 8. Johnson spins, finishes at the rack.
Great job by Johnson going back to his counter against the smaller defender.
Far side of the floor to Wilkinson. Wilkinson bobbles it. Quick hands there by Johnson. Forces the turnover. Torbert down the floor. 4-on-2. They give it to Andrews. That'll be an offensive foul. Position established there by Rembaugh. I thought Andrews might give it up. Kept on going, and once he committed, you could see that charge coming.
Yeah, good job. I think maybe it might have been Signek that took the brunt of that charge there, but I think in fact I know it was him because he looked down to see if his feet were outside the circle.
Okay.
That's how long he was standing there. So tough break for Joey. He'll have to sit with 2 fouls.
Nice cut to the basket. Finger roll at the rack, and Ragsdale with the finish.
Yeah, that's the second time he's gotten that ball on the back cut. Missed the first one. That one is able to finish.
And that's the first field goal tonight for the Mountaineers. Long jumper won't go for Torbert. Rebound taken by Davidson. Ragsdale drives in. Another strong drive and a finish. There'll be a chance here for a three-point play after the timeout. 15:48 to play first half from Salt Lake. Griffins are on top of Western Colorado early, 11-5 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Griffins off to a good start. They lead Western Colorado 11-5 here at Bankin Fieldhouse, along with former Griffin Lance Barton. I'm Mike Lagashow. Great to have you with us for the final night of the season for these two teams. And we had a timeout. Now we've got one more. So we'll step aside one more time. The score hasn't changed. Griffins still up 6 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Well, a quick look at the replay monitor to check the foul, I guess, is what happened there, according to Lance Barton. So free throw won't go down for Ragsdale, but...
Yeah, Kitzman secured the defensive rebound on the free throw, but a good job by Signek to be able to come from behind and steal that away from him. Give him...
And another chance here for a three-point play. Avery Rembaugh on the scramble on that one, and he will go to the line for free throws. So Brandon Wilson will check in as Braden Johnson takes his seat. Willardson averaging 6.4 points, 3.2 rebounds a game, and Now 17 contests this season. Free throw is good. That trims the Griffins' lead to 3 at 11-8. They'll drop it down to Willardson. One more time, they'll go his way. They bring a defender late once again, but Willardson a better post move and finishes.
Yeah, good job by Brandon being patient. Went inside, out, back to inside with the repost. Western follows up with the 3. Westminster wasn't quite sure who they were guarding in that possession. They give up the open tray.
Cole Sicknick, the junior from Colorado Springs, ranks 23rd in the conference in scoring at 13 points a game, shoots 39% from 3. Had his team within 2, but then Remy Torberg comes back the other way with a 3.
Yeah, when Remy gets his left foot set early, he doesn't miss very often. It's when he rushes shots that he starts having some shooting woes. But I'm telling you, it's that left foot for him. I've watched almost every game this year, either in person or online, and he's a great shooter. Even better when that left foot gets down and you hit it from the corner and gets the defensive rebound on the other end.
Right side of the floor. Long jumper won't go for Blackner. Branson Blackner, junior from Cedar City and Canyon View High School. Spent some time at Snow Community College before finding his way to Westminster. Through 2 defenders goes Davidson. Unable to finish. Remy Torbert averaging 10 points a game. Now goes to Kitzman. Kitzman on the drive. Nicely done by Kitzman left side.
Yeah, good decision. Kitzman saw that his defender tried to cheat and steal the pass, and he went quick. Finished with the left hand.
First bucket for Kitzman, who's averaging 9 points a game on the season. That bucket scored by Ragsdale, who now has 7 points. Back and forth we go. Willardson with the bucket.
Well, Schaefer not happy with the last possession there. He's letting them know he thought Ragsdale maybe got fouled. I don't necessarily disagree with him either.
Long 3 won't go for Sicknick. You've got some jumpers in your legs, Lance. Might as well get them out tonight. This is it.
Me personally, I got a bunch, so if I get in, I'm letting it fly.
I can go solo for a few moments if you want to go over and talk to Norm and see if they got a jersey and shorts.
There's some other guys that probably have earned a few more minutes than me, but push comes to shove. If we got 9 guys file out, I'll see if I could maybe get a COVID year for 4 or 5 minutes. But I need that 8-shot guarantee. He's got to give me at least 8 shots.
Make it worth your while, right?
100%.
Griffins up by 7 as they inbound baseline left. Under 13 to play in our first half. Torbert gives it up to Blackner. Now Torbert again elevates for the jumper. Front rim miss. Rebound taken by Davidson. Top scores in the game. Torbert with 6 leads Westminster. Ragsdale with 7. Paces the effort for the Mountaineers. Long jumper from MBA range. Jonathan McLeod rings the bell, the sophomore from Carrollton, Texas. Transferred from Morton College. McLeod shooting 40% from 3 this year, averages 7 points a game. Has his team within 4 at 20-16, nearing the 12-minute mark of our first half. That one just off the hand. Willardson out of bounds. That will turn it over to the Mountaineers.
No, that was deflected by the defender.
Okay. Yeah, Brandon's over making his case. Good job by the crew.
Yeah, I didn't even see the referee point, but that was the correct call. Good job. That's a good crew there coming in together. You like to see that.
We've seen those guys a lot here this year. They are a good crew.
Worked with a few of them in the past. One last night, the high school game.
Torberts. Blackner tries to go out the window. Won't go down it. My impression of this crew, Lance, is they look at replays, but they're very quick about it. They come over, take a look, but they are very efficient with their process And it's appreciated. You know, they take the look when they need to as that 3 goes down.
What a games, big Pac-12 games with your position at Utah. And sometimes those officials they linger a little bit. It's almost like they're giving themselves a nice little break, catch their breath. But no, I mean, you know, the enormity of a single play can be really big, obviously, so they want to make sure it's right.
And that one goes down for Willardson.
Brandon going 3 for 3 to start off the game with 6 points.
So a good lift for him off the bench tonight. Equals Torbert for the team high in scoring up to this point. The Griffins shooting 58%. They'd knocked down 2 of 7 from 3. Western Colorado shooting 53%. They've gone 3 of 8 from downtown. Good start offensively for both sides. Griffins are top by 3, 22-19 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Both teams shooting well in this final Friday, make that Saturday night of the season. Griffins shooting 58%, Western Colorado 53% in this first half, both good from 3. And entertaining to start this one. Westminster on top, 22-19, nearing the midway mark of this first half. Mike Lagashow, Lance Barton with you from Bacon Fieldhouse and the campus of Westminster College in Salt Lake City. Griffins in white, Mountaineers in red. Willardson, arcing pass and a tip to the corner. Torberts can't get the jumper to go. But I love the touch pass there from Blackner. Great idea.
Yeah, heads up play, knowing he wasn't in position to try and score that, but the shot clock winding down. Right before that timeout, Miller had taken a charge, so that one rattles in.
Wilkinson got the bounce.
And they're saying that they thought it hit the score, the shot clock apparatus above. Unknown, I think they might have a case, but nonetheless, it went and counted for 3.
We are tied at 22. The Griffins have led all night until that 3 went down. But they come right back with a field goal. Score that for Miller. So Taylor Miller just checking in. 6'2" sophomore from Las Vegas and Snow Community College. 3-point basket down. That's the second one tonight for Grant Wilkinson. Didn't use the shot clock on that one.
Yeah, he only needed the net.
Found all of it. Willardson on the baseline. Kick outside to Miller. And a whistle out front.
Holding foul on number 2. Cade Julius.
Fouls on Cade Julius, who just came into the game recently. Freshman guard from Kingman, Arizona.
Got a lot of variety on this roster for Weston. Number of states covered, couple of junior college transfers. Another driving foul, so Western caught themselves behind on the drive. Last couple possessions.
Foul goes against Jonathan McLeod. That's his first, team's third. They come into Willardson. Hands off to Blackner. Shot clock at 13 as Miller drives in from the corner. Kitzman finds an open spot. Back to Miller, back to Kitzman. Willardson with 5 seconds. Turns, goes to the right hand, nicely done.
Good job staying under control and the shot clock coming down. But a good job, even better job by Ragsdale, seeing that the Griffins were a little bit slow getting back, and he forced the issue, causing Kitzman to foul.
15 foul.
Lance, you look at the rosters in this conference. Obviously, coaches are scouring the country, going where they need to find guys, but I've been so impressed by the quality of play in this league since we came into it. I mean, every night you come in, whether you got a couple 500 teams or a couple teams lower half of the league, they get after it. And great play night in, night out. Lots of excellent coaches in this league.
Willardson getting out on the defensive end, taking the charge. Some good solid minutes for him as he subs into the game.
Yeah, Willardson,
checks out of the game, sorry.
Yeah, 8 points in 7 minutes, and as you said, took the charge right there. That's the second foul on Rembo.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. Just echoing kind of what you're saying. The RMAC was a good move. Obviously, Westminster tried to get into another Division II conference. It hadn't worked out just quite yet. And this has been a good move for them. And it's a very, as Miller hits the step back three at the buzzer.
How about that, Taylor Miller?
Well, this has been consistently a very good conference over the last decade and a half in the Division II level. A lot of teams have been in that top 5 rankings consistently. And there's been some, national championship appearances, Final Four. So a very good basketball conference for both men's and women's.
Yeah, Metro State Denver, probably the most well-known program from their success early part of this millennium.
Yep.
Mace is the premier team in the league this year. Oh my goodness. Taylor Miller's on fire. Got another one to go. 31 points for the Griffins already in this first half of play. Long three. Won't go for Wilkinson. Battle for the board down low. So Miller off the bench with 7 points. Willardson off the bench as well tonight with 8. They've come up big for Norm Parrish. Timeout on the floor, 7:24 left in our first half. Griffins are on top of the Mountaineers, 31-27 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Back at Beckett Fieldhouse, 7:24 left in our first half, 31-27. And Lance, you were observing the replay review.
I've been in every single one. They've been nice enough to include me in every replay. It's been really generous of them.
So what did they look at right there during that stoppage?
Yeah, so the assistant coach came over and said, hey, they requested to see if Taylor Miller's step back three at the end of the shot clock was an actual three, that he was behind the arc. So that was the request by coach.
And they confirmed that it was a three.
Correct.
4-point lead for the Griffins. Mountaineers with the basketball. Sickneck working against Taylor Miller. Wills his way inside and draws a foul against Miller. So that's the first on Miller, and 2 shots coming here for Cole Sickneck. Sickneck, the third best scorer on this team at 13 points a game. Also leads them, or second, I should say, in assists with 51 in 17 games this year. Sickneck at the line, 90%. That's third best in the conference. He's the 23rd best scorer in the league as well. One more coming for him. Second one down as well. A brief lead in this first half for Western Colorado at 25-24. The Griffins have led the rest of the way. Chance here for tying this possession with the 2 or a lead with the 3. Won't go. Chance for the putback. Offensive rebound there for Davidson, was challenged at the rim by Ryan Bell. And the foul goes against Bell. Ryan Bell, 6'9", 230 junior from Holiday, Utah. Olympus High School.
Produced quite a few good basketball players Olympus has. A couple of former Utes and current Ute, starting point guard.
Rylan Jones.
Mark
Jackson came through that program as well.
Sean Green.
Yes.
Not too far from Bacon Fieldhouse. Only about, 7-minute drive from here. So between Olympus and Highland, that's been a pretty good recruiting ground locally for Utah.
Lots of contact there. Offensive foul will be the call against Cole Sickneck.
Yeah, and Sickneck was out of control, and his coach is telling him pass early before you get caught like that. So good job by Kitzman taking that charge right there.
6:20 left before halftime. 1-point lead for the Griffins. Both teams shooting very well in this first half. The Griffins at 60% overall, 3 of 9 from 3. Western Colorado at 58% from the field. They've made 5 of 10 from three-point range. Nice floater on the baseline by Ryan Bell.
Yeah, he went baseline side with the left hand. When you have the opportunity to go to your dominant shoulder, left shoulder, right hook, he went the opposite way. That's an impressive move there by the young forward.
Ryan Bell a few weeks ago had a nice night with 8 points against Am State. Gave them a lift that night when they were a bit shorthanded. In fact, that weekend a couple players were out because of COVID, and Bell answered the bell off the bench that night, pardon the pun.
That he did. I like it.
Griffins lead by 3 with 5:35 left in this first half. McCowie tries to drop it down for Bell, taken away by the Mountaineers. Norm Parrish going deep in his bench tonight as well. On the rim, won't go down for Davidson. Kitzman up ahead. McCowie from the corner, overshoots everything.
Coach Parrish using a lot of his bench, more so than we're traditionally used to seeing, giving all of his players a chance here in this first half, or many of his players a chance here in this first half. So
yeah, I like this approach. It's your last game, nothing on the line here tonight. It's it. You give some guys a little reward for all their hard work this year.
Absolutely.
This has been a trying season for so many ways, and the number of games is not normally where it is. The Griffins playing just 18 games at this point. They're better off than a lot, but just mentally exhausting. And for players of this age to stick it out the way they have as Ryan Bell gets the jumper. They deserve a little thank you here tonight from their head coach, and they're getting it.
Absolutely. And Bell with a nice looking set shot, left-hander, getting the 3 to go. Ragsdale follows up with a nice spin move inside.
So 8 points now for Wilkinson, 36-32. Kitzman in the corner. Across the lane. Can't get it to roll down. Mountaineers down by 4. Them unforced in the lane again on the drive by Ragsdale. Up ahead. Won't go for Torberts. Back and forth we go, but both teams still shooting above 50% after a couple misses.
I'm tired just sitting here, Mike. This is an up and down game. His team's getting after it.
Frenetic pace in this first half. And a traveling violation on Signek. So a timeout with 3:23 left in the first half. Westminster on top of Western Colorado 36-32 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. (36-32). Westminster on top of Western Colorado by 4. Mike Lagasholt, Lance Barton back at Bacon Fieldhouse in Salt Lake City. Ragsdale with 9 points. The top scorer in the game, McLeod with 6. Wilkinson with 8. Sickneck with 5. They pace the effort so far for the Mountaineers. The Griffins balanced effort as well. Willardson, a team-high 8 points off the bench. Miller off the bench as well with 7. 6 for Torbert. Lance, you've seen the numbers. Anything that stands out to you up to this point?
You know, you talk about that frenetic pace, but both teams actually taking some pretty good shots. Not a lot of early, long threes, a few of them here and there, but they've been in rhythm. I've been impressed with Ragsdale. Obviously, he's a 20-point-per-game guy, but, he doesn't just chuck shots up. He works really hard. He's got a couple backdoor attempts, inside moves, so he has definitely got an offensive repertoire, but both these teams being fairly efficient with their offense, and Kitzman finishes with the left on the drive there.
Kitzman with his second bucket has 4 points tonight. 38-32. Griffins up by a half dozen, 2:42 left before halftime. That one off the hands of Bell, but ends up in the hands of Juliffs. Bobbled out of bounds. That will turn it over to the Griffins. Both teams have shot well this entire first half. The Griffins currently at 58%. Overall, they've gone 4 of 11 from 3, have not attempted a free throw in this first half. The Mountaineers shooting 55% overall. They've gone 5 of 11 from beyond the arc, 5 of 8 at the line. Rebounding, a 12-11 edge for the Griffins. Bell, quick turn with the left hand. How pretty was that?
Yep, he's been able to, I think, deceive his defender a couple times. We talked about earlier when he went baseline. Most people would think that's tough, but being a left-hander, that's a good move. So both times the defender is shaded to his what they thought would be right hand.
Drive in, score for Elijah Davidson.
Yeah, and a lot of contact there. I think the Western bench has a good reason to be a little upset. Nonetheless, a good, strong finish there.
From the corner left side. Jumper won't go for Branson Blackner. 90 seconds left in this first half. 40-34, Griffins on top by 6. Bounce pass wide left to Ragsdale. They cleared out for him on the left side. Banks trying to hang with them, and defensive help comes as Blackner rotates over. They force the travel.
Yeah, good defense. Double team coming. Ragsdale was going to again try and go into that kind of spin with his back to the basket like he's shown. Just shuffled his feet a little bit.
Kissman gets cut off, loops it outside to Torbert. Torbert, long three-point try, book it, baby, from downtown.
Torbert with the big three, extending this lead out to 9.
And that's how many Torbert has tonight, 9. He is now the top scorer for the Griffins in this first half. Pass outside. Now they go to the corner. 3 ball is down for Ragsdale. Ragsdale with 12 points.
Ragsdale's a ton of confidence. I like it. I like the way he plays. I like his confidence. He works really hard, and that one falls for him. I think that was a result of a lot of hard work. Sometimes the basketball gods shine on a player who works really hard, and I think that might have been the case.
Ragsdale from Monument, Colorado, and Lewis Palmer High School, 4th best scorer in the conference this year at 20.5 points a game, shoots 39% from 3, has a team-high 45 made threes on 115 three-point tries this season.
Shoot, I'd like to shoot 115 threes. Dang.
Well, they all have the green light, it appears.
That is one thing, we talk about this conference, Mike. Obviously, it's a Division II conference, but a very good Division II conference, one of the top 2, 3 in the country year over year. But not a ton of size. So, right, you're going to get some mid-sized guys, your Joey Andrew type players who can be guards, but also in a small lineup can play the 4 per se, or a face-up 4. And so we see a lot of threes. Obviously, in the entire league of Division II, you're going to see that. But specifically in the RMAC, anytime you have a dominant big or post player, it actually shines, and we saw that last night in Fort Lewis. A couple years ago, we saw at Colorado Mesa with, I just forgot his name. He was the player of the year. Dang it, I lost my train of thought. But when you have a dominant big like that, it can definitely help. But got to be able to shoot it if you want to play in Division II in the RMAC.
Speaking of great players from the past, Ben Beauchamp, now an assistant coach for the Mountaineers. I remember watching him play the early years the Griffins were in this conference.
Yep, and that's cool to see. You love seeing former players to get in the coaching ranks. It's, they know the system, they know the coaches.
Down to 4 seconds. Spinning jumper won't go for Torbert. Good effort there by Bell to get there and could not, and that's the end of our first half. We thought it would be fun, and it was as we had hoped. Both teams shoot 59% in that first half of play. The Griffins go 19 for 33 overall, 5 for 13 on threes. Did not attempt a free throw in the first 20 minutes. Western Colorado goes 13 for 22 from the field, 6 of 12 from 3, 5 of 8 at the line. Rebounding in the first half of play, the Mountaineers outboard the Griffins by 1, 13-12. Westminster 4 turnovers, 10 for Western. And individually, Ragsdale with the game-high 12 points on 5 of 8 shooting. 8 points for Wilkinson, 6 for McLeod, 5 for Sickneck. They pace the effort for the Mountaineers and for the Griffins. Remy Torbert, strong close to the half, made 3 of 7 threes. Has a team-high 9 points to go with 3 rebounds. 8 points by Brandon Willardson off the bench, and a good spurt for him in 7 minutes of play. Taylor Miller off the bench as well with 7 points. Ryan Bell, how about that? 7 points for him off the bench in 7 minutes. And 4 points for Johnson and for Kitzman. Good first half. Lansing was entertaining.
Yeah, both of these teams playing free, right? A lot of fun. Teams are in it. Benches are in it. A lot of guys playing for both teams, for Westminster. Not so many for Western. Obviously, only 7 seeing the floor versus 11 seeing the floor for Westminster. So, Coach Parrish putting his guys in, putting some trust in, getting some minutes, and good for them. You know, it's a long season. It's a grind. Sometimes we see short benches and not a lot of rotation, but these kids have earned it, and it's fun to see. But some productive minutes, both sides. I go back to Ragsdale. You know, you look at it, the guy has worked extremely hard for 8 shots. You look at it and say, man, he's probably shot 15 times already, but he hasn't. And guess what? He's 5 of 8. You know, a couple rebounds. He cuts, he gets back picks, he gets back doors, he comes off of curls. I can see why he has been the main go-to guy for them. He works extremely hard on the offensive end to get shots. So, be interesting to see adjustments. Obviously, we thought after the first couple minutes, as they went into Johnson, the Westminster did the first 3 of the first 4 possessions. He scored 2 of them. They continued that trend with Willardson, and then Bell got a couple. So we'll see if Westminster continues to try and exploit their size advantage.
So Ragsdale, good as advertised, 12 points in this first half of play for the 4th best scorer in the RMAT this year. A quiet first half for Joey Andrews, who picked up 2 quick fouls, but the 2nd best scorer for the Griffins, Remy Torbert, good as well with 9 points. It's been fun through 20 minutes, and the Griffins are on top by 6, 43-37. We'll step aside for about 10 minutes and come back with our second half on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Well, it's been a good first 20 minutes. Let's hope for 20 more good minutes. Halftime here at Bank & Fieldhouse in Salt Lake City as the Westminster Griffins lead the Western Colorado Mountaineers 43-37. Mike Lagerschultz, Lance Barton back with you. Both teams red hot in that first half. The Griffins shoot 57% overall. They make 5 of 13 threes. Western Colorado just a bit better at 59% overall. They went 6 of 12 from beyond the arc. Slight edge in rebounding to Western at 13-12. Top scorers in the first half, Remy Torbert with 9 points. Willardson with 8. Miller and Bell with 7. And for Western, Ragsdale with 12. Wilkinson with 8. Lance, your keys to our second half.
Well, I look for Westminster to go back inside early here in this half. If you're Colorado Western, they need to continue to work the perimeter with cuts, backdoors, and make the Griffins work defensively. Good move there by Banks to open the half with the scoring. But I think Western had success when they really made Westminster with a lot of cuts, a lot of backdoor, a lot of screen, away ball screens. They were able to have success with that.
Long three won't go down for Sickneck. And here comes the other 11. Torbert with it for the Griffins. Final game for these two teams in the 2021 season. The Griffins come in 8-10. Western Colorado 6-11. They have both been eliminated from the possibility of finishing in the top 8 in the RMAC to make the postseason tournament. 3-ball down from the left side by Ragsdale. We will have a women's tournament game here on Tuesday. The Westminster women won our first game here tonight against the Mountaineers, 71-53. So the Griffin women, second place in the RMAC this year. They will host a 2-7 game in the RMAC quarterfinals, 7 o'clock right here on Tuesday. We'll have it for you here on Griffins TV and the RMAC network. And the way it works, the top remaining team after the quarters will host the semis and championships. So there's a chance the Griffins could host weekend basketball. We'll see how things shake out on Tuesday, but what an accomplishment. Just 6 of their 15 games at home this year, and the Griffins second place in the RMAC.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal job for them. That's the third foul by Johnson. That'll send him to the bench. Willardson in. The Westminster women transforming a little bit with the addition of some bigger size, adjusted what they did, and those bigs did a phenomenal job. Just a really good combination for that roster. And they proved it by getting those, like you mentioned, many road wins. So it'd be awesome for them to host the entire thing. A great accomplishment for them. Even more awesome if you're a Griffin fan if they win it. So we'll see how that plays out over the next week to 10 days.
That pass sails out of bounds, and Westminster will have it back. Joey Andrews, a couple quick fouls in that first half for the Griffins. Played just 5 minutes so far, 2 points. We'll see if he gets going in this second half. Has had a really nice junior season. Transferred from Big Bend Community College, native of Bluffdale, Utah, Riverton High School.
Lucky enough to coach Joey in the AAU scene. Great kid, great family, really good career at Riverton.
Yeah, I told you first night, he reminds me of Brandon Ward just a little bit. With
Yeah,
kind of an undersized guy, but has the body to bang and play that undersized forwards we talked about. You see a lot of in this conference.
Yep. Yeah, he's really a smart player, too. He does the little things. On obviously the last possession, a good jumper there for Western, but he also can post up inside and be patient with it.
Outside, here's his chance. Drains the three. So Andrews with his second field goal tonight. Made that third field goal. First from 3, now has 7 points. Less than 3 minutes into our second half.
Personal foul on Isaiah.
Isaiah Banks running through the screen there.
13 foul.
That's the third team foul already on Westminster in this half.
Yeah, they're going to go to the 28-foot line there as that foul occurred outside the three-point line.
So we'll be Sickneck inbounding from the sideline. They'll drop it down wide left. Rembow turns, faces, strokes it down.
Good, patient, strong move by Rembow. Used his length over Kitzman to hit that one. That was a good-looking move by just a sophomore.
Banks, floater off the mark. Ragsdale down the floor. Long three, that one down for Rembow. After back-to-back buckets, the Mountaineers back within three, 50-47. Willardson wide left. Boy, nice cut to the rim. Nice find. Andrews could not finish.
Yeah, tough break there. Joey was almost too open, I think. Mike, I was just looking at the roster real quick. Ragsdale rises up, maybe one of the only ill-advised shots I've seen him take all day. This Western team, at least the starting five, obviously small, very guard-oriented, all five really guards, but no seniors. A very young roster, a chance to maybe be good over the next year or two. It's a nice kick-out three for Torbert.
So Torbert now for the Griffins. 12 points in this one.
Ragsdale matches the corner three with his own.
Ragsdale with 18 points. 3-point game, 53-50. The pace in the second half, at least to start much like we saw in the first half of play. Nice save there by Ragsdale. Mountaineers down the floor. The Griffins get back defensively. In the lane, Wilkinson. And the foul goes against the Griffins. It's on Willardson, his first, team's fourth. We have a timeout. 15:03 left to play. From Bankin, Westminster leads Western Colorado 53-50 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Early second half shooting, the Griffins at 4 of 8 from the floor. Overall, 2 of 4 from 3. Western Colorado going 5 of 7 and 3 of 5 respectively. Rebounds, a 17-14 edge for Western Colorado. Top scores in our game. Torbert with 12 points leads the Griffins. Ragsdale with 18. And a game high leads Western Colorado. Been fun on this Saturday, final night of the regular season. Good cut to the rim. Ragsdale scores it and brings his team within one at 53-52.
I'm going to sound a little bit like a parrot repeating myself, but Ragsdale, his off-ball movement and how hard he works without the ball is phenomenal. It's unbelievable. And an offensive foul there on Willardson. They're going to say that he extended the arm, I think. Coach Parrish not happy with that one.
That's a second on Willardson. All right, team foul number 5. So far, none called this half on the Mountaineers. If I'm Norm Parrish, that's my argument as much as anything.
What's funny is, as officials, we talk about one-liners to reply to coaches who say, hey, what the foul's 8-2 or 5-0. It's like a what's your best one-liner? And again, a backdoor cut. Off-ball, non-ball movement by Ragsdale.
We've got
Gets them the lead.
Yep, 7-0 run here by the Mountaineers. And Kitzman gets in close for a deuce.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times here with Willardson over the last couple of possessions where he's gotten it inside. The Griffins have done a good job cutting to the basket, and he's found him.
Floating jumper up and rolls down for Rembow.
Rembow having himself a pretty solid half, had a 3 and a 2 back-to-back that gets that one to fall. He's trying to help Ragsdale out on the offensive end.
Rembow with 10 points, Wilkinson with 10, Ragsdale with 22. Griffins down by 1 in the front court. Outside to Andrews, catch and shoot 3, book it from downtown. So Andrews heating up in the second half, down to double figures with 10 points. From the outside, won't go for Wilkinson. Griffins now a chance to expand a 2-point lead with 13 minutes left. Kitzman works with Wilkinson. Gets down to the left block, scored, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Good job by Kitzman. Realizing he had actually worked his way with his defender under the basket, just rose with a nice little baby hook. Got that to go with the and one opportunity. This broke our streak that we talked about.
Yes.
They're going to get a free throw attempt. Mike and I were wondering if the Griffins had ever gone an entire game without a free throw attempt, and we didn't have our production assistant here to pull that up. But nonetheless, we won't need it.
They went 27 minutes.
Yeah, that's a long time regardless, but Kitzman gets it to fall.
So 61 to 56. Sickneck the other way.
Yeah, breakdown defensively there. Coach Parrish wants his team to switch that. They didn't. Easiest layup of Sickneck's career.
Andrew drops it down to Willardson. They double team him. Kitzman with a tip pass. Has that one rejected by Sickneck. Torbert stays with it. Nice pass. Blackner goes to Andrews.
Yeah, a couple of hustle plays by the Griffins there. A couple batted balls. Tipped it out to Torbert. And then a quick touch pass from Blackner. That's unselfish basketball there by the Griffins.
D3, front rim miss for Ragsdale. Kitzman speeds through the lane. Now back to him, in the corner to Blackner. Andrews had to regather that one, but had plenty of time to squeeze off the 3.
And Willardson is finding himself a good rhythm here, finding open players. That's back-to-back kick-out threes for Andrews on his attempts. So they've gone back to that, has the staff for Westminster, and it's working.
An 11-2 run by Westminster. They have taken control in this second half, now in front by 8, 66-58 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. 11:31 left, second half from Banking. Griffins are on top, 66-58 after an 11-2 run. And Lance, you picked up on something defensively that's been an issue for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, this stretch that you've seen the post players from Westminster, Willardson and some of the others be able to get the ball in the post. The double team has come, but it's been coming from the high wing spot instead of the opposite corner. And that's actually given a better angle. It's also allowed for diving or slashing guard to come down, and the bigs have found him a couple times.
How about that block by Willardson?
But a couple of back-to-back threes because Willardson's done a good job seeing, as we have a media timeout for under 12. Yeah, he's been able to see the open player, so we'll see if they adjust who they send that double team from.
Yeah, the pace has been that quick to our second half. We've got timeouts in a relative short amount of time. Been fun here tonight from Salt Lake. The Griffins are on top of the Mountaineers by 8, 66-58 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Second half shooting in this one. The Griffins at 60.9% overall. They've gone 9 for 19 from 3, but so has Western Colorado. Overall, Western at 61%. So both teams shooting great on this Saturday night, and Andrews left that one short. Andrews coming to life in the second half with 15 points after sitting all but a couple of minutes in that first half with a few quick fouls. Three-pointer goes down for Jonathan McLeod, and that brings Western Colorado back to within 5 at 66-61.
Similar to the women's game, this Western team just not going away, finding ways to just kind of chip at it and keep it within reaching distance.
Miller on the drive in. Draws some contact and a foul. Whistle goes against Kay Julips. That's his second. Second on the team. Top scorers in our game. Ragsdale with 22 points. Leads everyone in this contest. Wilkinson, Rembow with 10 apiece for Western Colorado. Willardson scoring in deep. Speaking of guys having a nice night, he is among those. 10 points for him. The Griffins now with 3 players in double figures. Andrews with 15, Torbert with 12. 68-61. Nearing the midway point of our second half. 3 ball is down. Avery Rembow. So Western Colorado, a 7-0 run, got them in front by 1. The Griffins come back, an 11-2 run as Kitzman scores. An 11-2 run had the Griffins up by 8.
Yeah, Kitzman recognized again a flat-footed defender, went with a hesitation and blew by. So,
and blocked by Banks. Picked up by Taylor Miller. Miller kicks to Andrews, now gets it back. Kitzman around a Willardson screen. They float it wide left to Brandon. Quick pass out of it. Good ball movement here by the Griffins. Banks, wide open 3 as a result. Can't knock it down. But a good sequence that time down the floor for Westminster.
And that time the double team did come from the opposite corner, so that made it harder. Obviously, the Griffins still did a great job as a foul called on the shot there. made it so that they weren't that open from that high wing spot. So a good adjustment by Western on the defensive end.
At the line, Avery Rembow. Rembow tonight, 15 points. He's knocked down 2 of 3 threes. A couple of assists and a rebound for him in 21 minutes tonight. Knocked down the first free throw. Rembow in the season, 72% at the line. $9-12 left in the season for both of these teams unless we find our way to overtime. Westminster comes in 8-10. Western Colorado 6-11. Both teams not a factor to make the RMAC 18 tournament next week. Andrews making up for lost time in this second half. Now has 17. Well, Lance looking ahead, the Griffins will lose Dominic Cervantes, Jackson Barlow. For sure, a couple other players with some decisions to make, but this has been a fairly new team this year that will have a lot of pieces back next year as Davidson gets in deep, can't finish it. Here come the Griffins with a chance to expand a 6-point lead, but for Norm Parrish's crew, we talked about the close losses. At one point, they had 5 straight losses by an average of about 5 or 6 points per game.
It's tough, and a lot of those, as we've mentioned before in the broadcast, they had the lead either majority of the game or coming down to the final 4 or 5 minutes, and we're able to close those out. Those are tough losses when your team's worked hard and done, 32 to 37 minutes of good basketball, and then the final minutes it kind of falls away. So hopefully with this team that returns, they'll have some more experience, they'll have some depth, and they can be able to close out and win some of those games that they had the lead.
74-66. Yeah, you look back at that stretch mid-January until early February. They lost by 1 at Metro State Denver, lost by 6 here to Regis, lost by 4 at Western, lost by 3 at Fort Lewis, lost by 3 at Mesa. Got a lopsided win at South Dakota Mines before losing to Adams State here by 4.
3 by Rembow, followed up by a turnover by Kitzman. Puts this at a 5-point game. But yeah, you're right, Mike. Those were, and I unfortunately remember most of those. I think they did have the lead in every single one you just mentioned.
Yeah, they lost 6 of 7 during that stretch. You swing some of those games around, it's a different story. They're contending for postseason as it is. They're 8-10. But playing well tonight. Been a good one here at Benkin. Western, as Lance mentioned, closed to within 5. 74-69 on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Both teams started hot and have no desire to cool off on this Saturday night. Final game of the season. Westminster shooting 61.5%. 61% the number for Western Colorado. Both teams good from 3 as well. The Mountaineers knocking down 12 of 22 from beyond the arc. Over half of their field goal tries from 3-point range tonight. The Griffins good as well from 3. Going 9 for 20, including 6 of 7 in the second half. Rebounding numbers, a 20-18 edge, a slim one for Western Colorado over Westminster. And that ball knocked out of bounds. It will be Westminster basketball.
Yeah, turnover is a real problem, Mike, for Western, for these Mountaineers. They have really hurt themselves and killed a lot of the momentum they've built up at times with turnovers.
Turning and facing was Johnson, rimmed out. Rebound taken by Davidson. Chance here for the Mountaineers to trim the Griffins' 5-point lead with 7:07 left. Deep three is down. Guess who? Ragsdale rings the bell one more time from downtown. He's now 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. 25 points tonight.
Had been a little bit quiet over the last 3 minutes. Sat for a few of those. He comes back and hits the deep three.
Banks far side. Probing. Shot clock down to 7. Goes to Andrews. Joey. 6-3.
Having himself quite the half, isn't Joey?
Sure is. 20 points. And I did not track it at halftime, but all but maybe a couple of those points coming in the second half. On the deck, Wilkinson out of bounds to the Griffins. Well, we were hoping this would be the case. Both teams having fun. Both teams playing loose, getting after it. Guys making shots. Last taste of basketball for the season.
Yeah, this has been fun. I think both teams are into this. They have been the whole time. There's not been any woe is me attitude. They're just playing to get this W. They both want it. End the season on a high note.
Andrews drops it wide left to Johnson. And a defensive foul as the double team comes.
Personal foul on Grant Wilkinson.
It's on Grant Wilkinson.
14 foul of the second half.
That's his third, 14 foul against the Mountaineers. They come into Andrews. Lots of contact. Yes, offensive foul.
Yeah, good call there. That established, you can establish position and move laterally or back as a defender. Joey dipped the shoulder just too much, so untimely, but a good defensive stance for Western.
77-72. Mountaineers down 5. Little miscommunication here. I think Ragsdale knew he was at fault on that one as the pass sailed into the bench.
Yeah, untimely turnover. Western had a chance, got the charge call for him, and then they turn it over. It's been tough for them all game. As we mentioned right before the break, the turnover's hurting the Mountaineers.
Johnson cross-court pass and a touch pass in the corner. Andrews missed the long jumper. Hesitation now. Rembo drives in. Knocked away. Up ahead, Banks. Boy, nice pass. How about that find by Taylor Miller? Zipping a pass to Banks.
Great job by those three running the floor. Taylor, heads up pass. That's a high-level transition pass without taking a dribble. A lot of players will want to take a dribble there. He saw the opening, and Isaiah finished it off.
Turnover once again by the Mountaineers. That's their 18th tonight.
Kitzman with a great hustle. He even save that and give it a chance.
Foul goes against Rembow. That's his fourth.
Rembow also helping out tremendously, having himself a good second half, had a good spurt, about 10 out of the 14 points or so in that stretch, now on the bench.
Rembow, the only player in the game with 4 personal fouls. Wilkinson, his teammate, with 3. Those with 3 for the Griffins are Johnson, Kitzman, and Andrews. Under 4.5 to play. Kitzman in the lane, spins it, floats it up, scores it.
Haven't seen a lot of that out of Kitzman. Does a great job getting to the basket and finishes, but tonight we've seen 3 times him gather himself after getting into the deep lane and being able to get a nice shot to go.
Nice drive in there by Johnson and a whistle. All start with a tip ball by Joey Andrews. Fouls on Ragsdale, his first. So count the basket. And a free throw coming after the break. 4:01 left in this one from Bacon. It's been entertaining. 83-72, Griffins are on top of the Mountaineers on Griffins TV and the RMAC Network. Final 4 minutes and change coming here from Bankin. 83-72, Griffins are on top of the Mountaineers. Mike Lagerschultz, Lance Barton with you. Final game of the season for the Griffins and the Mountaineers. The foul before the timeout on Matthew Ragsdale, his first, team's 6th. The Mountaineers already in the bonus with 17 fouls on Westminster. And the free throw from Johnson is up. 84-72. It's been a 10-0 run here by the Griffins. Sky for the rebound is Banks. Bounce pass up ahead to Miller. Andrews to Kitzman, back to Miller. They'll drop it down to Johnson wide left. Banks hesitates, drives in strong, Tate to the rack. Now a 12-0 run by Westminster. And a foul on Westminster as we come the other way. That'll be our Miller. His second, team's 8th.
Good recognition there to get that ball out of the hoop and put the pressure on Westminster, who did not get back on defense. But Westminster giving themselves this margin with pushing the tempo. We hadn't seen that. We've seen it at times. I've really liked it at times. Miller really helping with that on the break as the free throw falls. But I think that surprised Western a little bit with the Griffins getting out. Had a little bit small margin lead, and that tempo has helped them extend it out.
So that three-point play stops the 12-0 run by the Griffins.
And here's where Westminster needs to prove themselves. The team is pressuring them. Couple minutes left. They've seen themselves lose leads in multiple games, not handling that trap or that pressure. They need to be able to do that here to finish this out.
Boy, nice pass, nice roll to the basket by Braden Johnson.
The size advantage for the Griffins has been very apparent, and they've been able to expose it against the Mountaineers.
2:45 remaining. Off the window goes Wilkinson. 12 points for him tonight. Third best scorer this evening for the Mountaineers. Ragsdale with 25, Wilkinson with 12. Brembaugh with 18. Andrews wants to go to Johnson and does. Now to Banks. Banks comes up short. Good hustle by Johnson. Hit the deck. Here come the Mountaineers the other way. Ragsdale. Drive in. Offensive foul.
Offensive foul, number 24.
On camera, that might not look great, but I'll tell you what was great about it is that Isaiah was able to get position, and his first step, instead of moving into the offensive player, was actually back and lateral to go towards the baseline, and that is still legal guarding position. and he took it right in the chest. So, Ragsdale being ultra aggressive actually just comes off. He has got a banged up shoulder. That was not a small collision either. But a better job by Isaiah Banks taking the charge there. It's a big, big play here in this game.
Under 2 minutes left. 88-77. Griffins are on top by 11. Wilkinson. On the post. Great find. Torber for three, knocks it down. 91-77. Willardson, 4 assists tonight for the Griffins. 3-point try on the rim, and a whistle.
They got Torber, I think, pushing the back on the rebound. Yeah, that's what they got there.
Second on Torbert, ninth on the Griffins, so one more will put the Mountaineers in the 2-shot bonus the rest of the way. 91-77. How many times, Lance, have you seen two teams shoot above 57% in both halves?
What's crazy is about a minute ago I had that exact same thought. I was going to bring it up at postgame, but these teams are running great offense. Their defense hasn't been terrible either. Westminster's done a good job exposing the size and going inside, and the bigs have done a good job finding the right time to take it themselves and the right time to pass. Willardson leading that charge there, but it's been a good game by both of these teams offensively.
Kitzman wanted that three, would not go. In fact, the worst three-point shooting half was by Westminster at 38% in the first half. They've gone 60% second half. Western 50% or better from three both halves tonight. So a timeout call, 45.5 seconds left. Timeout taken by Western Colorado. Just a 30 will stay right here. Top scorers in our game, Ragsdale with 25 points, leads everyone. Rembau with 18, Wilkinson with 12. Those are the three in double figures for the Mountaineers, close to them. Sickneck and also McLeod with 9, 8 by Davidson. Westminster with 5 players in double figures. Andrews with 17 leads them. Most of that productivity coming in the second half. Kitzman with 13, Torbert with 15. Willardson, Miller off the bench with 10 points apiece. Kitzman and Willardson both with 4 assists tonight to lead the way for Westminster. Torbert's, Andrews with team-high 5 rebounds.
This has been fun basketball, Mike. I've really enjoyed this. Both teams playing hard. Western Colorado going to really kick themselves with the amount of turnovers that they've had. That's really been a difference maker in this game. As you see that pressure that I mentioned before, even under a minute with a 10-point lead, you're antsy if you're a Westminster fan or coach because they have struggled handling this full-court pressure.
And as we mentioned earlier, they had a streak where they lost 6 of 7 games in mid-January until mid-February, and all those games lost by 6 points or less.
And a lot of that has come from missed timely turnovers against the press.
And in fact, we go back to December. They had a 6-point loss at Shadron, a 5-point loss at Black Hill State. So you can sort of lump those two games into that same category.
But I think this is a good substitution here.
So Taylor Miller comes out. Isaiah Banks will come on.
Yeah, defense for offense there.
And Remy Torbert at the free throw line. Torbert 80% at the stripe this season, came in averaging 10 points a game. Torbert 15 tonight. Remy with one more free throw. Griffins lead by a dozen, 30 seconds to play. Wilkinson looking for a pass, instead spins to a jumper, or a floater I should say, from the corner, 3 ball. That one knocked down by Rembau. 93-84. No timeouts left for the Mountaineers. So no options here for Brad Schaefer.
Personal foul, Cole Sicknick, second.
Have an administrative technical
foul. Yeah, they didn't have any timeouts, and 11 looked right in the official's face and called a timeout.
You know, I thought I saw him do that, and I'm like, I better check timeouts and make sure I saw that right, and they did not have any.
I'm watching, and unfortunately, he did it twice. The official let the first one go, ignored it, and then the second one you're told you got to go, especially from its player, right? Because with a live ball, even though that wasn't a live ball, they were trying to inbound it. With a live ball, players are the only ones that can call timeout, right, during men's games. But he gave him one, and then the second one he called it. So they will be awarded the actual timeout, which most people don't realize. They actually do get the timeout, but it costs them a technical.
So 20 seconds left. That one doesn't rank up there with the timeout called by Chris Webber in the Final Four.
Eesh. Yeah.
Back in the day.
That cost a little bit more for them.
Yeah, a little bit more on the line that night than we have right here. But
you know, and I love the Fab 5 30 for 30.
Yes.
But I like how what they did in that, too, is they allowed for the full view and the fact that there was an assistant coach actually standing up, yelling at him, telling him to call a timeout. And I'm not blaming him. You got to be heads up. You got to be cognitive of it. Nice. Cervantes being chosen. He subbed in, getting a chance to score some points. He missed the first one. So a great move. Very classy move by Coach Parrish.
Yep. Jackson Barlow, the senior from Brigham City.
Excuse me, Barlow in, yes.
Transferring from Colorado Northwestern.
Griffin basketball.
Pat Barlow last night got in, made a basket, a three-pointer, and got a chance to go to the line tonight.
Dominic Cervantes into the ballgame, replacing
Cervantes coming in to replace Joey Andrews.
Getting the seniors in.
Now those two gone for sure, Barlow and Cervantes. A couple of other guys with some decisions to make. But a lot of the key pieces back for this Griffins team next year. And a nice job to get the ball into the hands of the senior Barlow on the three-point try. Wouldn't go. That will do it. Fun one here from Bacon. And Westminster takes down Western Colorado 94-84. And that will wrap up the season for both of these teams. The Griffins improved to 9-10. Western Colorado falls to 6-12.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I'm very excited for the Griffins. Obviously, you want to end your season a different way in a playoff opportunity. The Griffins just weren't able to get it done down the stretch. Thanks, Coach Pat. Coach Pat coming over and giving us some love.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Patrick
that.
Amico came on our post-game show a few weeks ago. Great guy, very appreciative of the efforts of everyone to come out and put these games on. It's been a strange year as we knew it would be, but we got through it. And to actually play 19 games, I'm not sure if we were going to get to 19 at some stages, but we did. And you know what? Not what the Griffins were hoping for. Again, we talked about the tight losses and how this game or this season could have turned in a different way, but fun one tonight.
Yeah, it was great. It was great by both squads. Credit Western Colorado. They hung in there. They did not go away. They stuck together as a team. I mean, I sang Ragsdale's praises. Obviously, he got injured on that and had to come out the last minute or so. Unfortunate, but I don't know if I've been in this gym for a long time since I was here the day it opened, but I don't know if I've seen a player work harder off ball, without the ball, to get shots and to be effective at it than I did tonight with him. So I'm going to give him a ton of credit. He is a great player. I hadn't actually seen him play. The Western game on the road, I didn't actually watch. One of the only games I didn't see. So I'm going to give him a lot of props. He is a hard worker. You know, he comes in and does the best he can, and he's only a sophomore. So they've got a good player on their hand. They've got a young core And Western could be a problem. If they get a little bit of size and some depth, I mean, they only ended up playing 7 players is all that came off the bench and got minutes. They've got a chance to be really good. And Ragsdale's going to lead the way. So kudos to him, and you'll go through stats, but just wanted to point that out. I mean, 10 of 16, and he probably ran 7.5 miles without the ball. I mean, very, how Klay Thompson does it at the NBA level, Ragsdale did it here tonight in efforts to get himself shots. And so, again, kudos to him. But a lot of contributors for the Griffins. It was awesome. A lot of players getting minutes and getting effective minutes. You saw Bell come in on about a 6-minute stretch where he was really good, hit a couple post moves. You had Taylor Miller come in and hit a shot in the first half and then get a steal. Then in the second half get help with 2 fast break points that really stretched the lead out. So, a lot of positives. You want to be playing next week if you're Coach Parrish and the squad. But it's nice to have, like you mentioned, a little bit of a good taste in your mouth to end the season.
All right, so the Griffins win this one by 10, 94-84. Some final numbers for both teams. Western shoots 60% for the game, 30 of 50. They knock down 14, 26 from beyond the arc at 53%. They go 10 for 13 at the line. Westminster shoots 39 of 64. That's 60.9% overall. They go 11 of 25 from beyond the arc, 44%, and 5 of 6 at the free throw line. Western out rebounds Westminster 27-19. Turnovers, that was the one number you talked about all night, Lance. 20 turnovers by Western Colorado, just 7 for the Griffins. And as a result, the Griffins a 28-8 advantage of points off turnovers.
Yeah, that's just not going to win you games. I'm sorry, it's tough. It's a lot of them were unforced too. You'll take the effort plays. You'll take a charge here and there. Maybe you're driving hard to the basket and you get a travel, but there was definitely at least 8, 9 of those were unforced turnovers, and that's just really hard to overcome when you're on the road on a back-to-back. Not to mention, against a team that was shooting so well. And then that next line, I think you're about to get to it, but that points in the paint jumped out at me right away. That is an unbelievable number for the Griffins, 48-28 advantage points in the paint. And my key to the game, and we talked about this before, the key to the game for the Griffins was exploit their size, and they did that.
Well, and that gets you excited about next year. I mean, look at the guys coming back. Bell's been an emerging player in recent weeks. You also had Johnson with 9 points tonight, and a guy you know pretty well, Brandon Willardson with 10 points, and also Forrest is coming off the bench. Yeah,
the bigs played great. They took their turns. The coaching staff did a phenomenal job of setting up a 4-out, 1-in look. They went to the big. They were able to switch the Western switched the screen, so it went to an even smaller guard guarding the big inside. They kicked it in, and I think they really emphasized at halftime especially, be patient with the ball, bigs. You're going to get a wide-open kick, and we saw it several times, both inside cuts and outside, and it was really nice to see those guards knocked down. Joey Andrews hit a couple. You had Remy Torbert came in and hit that big one right off the bench after sitting for several minutes that extended the lead to 11. So a good job by the bigs. Also getting their own shots when it permitted as well.
All right, Ragsdale with a game-high 25 points leads the way for Western Colorado. Rembau with 21. And for the Griffins, 5 players in double figures. Andrews and Torbert lead the way with 17, 13 for Kitzman, Willardson, and Miller with 10 apiece. That will do it for us on the game coverage. Those of you on YouTube, stay with us for some post-game coverage. We'll come back with Coach Parrish and our player of the game in just a bit. But our final score tonight on this final night of the season from Bankin, Westminster, 94, Western Colorado, 84 for Lance Barton. I'm Mike Lagashow. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here Tuesday for women's quarterfinal play in the RMAC. Until then, so long, everybody.